flying lessons for car drivers, just to amuse myself. This is your basic Piper Cherokee 140, very simple. I think it's going to look better. Where's my mouse? It'll look better if we have wheel pants. There we go. All airplanes fly about the same. On the wings, we have ailerons. That banks the airplane left and right. Turn an airplane in the air by banking left and right. Elevator for pitching the airplane up and down, for climbing and descending. Rudder, mostly for crosswind control, and used in turns with the ailerons to keep the turn coordinated. We also have flaps. These are used for slow flight and approach and landing. They help slow the airplane down by adding drag and also pitch the nose down, so it's easier to see over the nose as you're coming in for landing. Inside, the yoke for turning and banking the aircraft. Elevator for pitching up and down. Foot pedals for the rudder, and also steer the nose wheel when you're on the ground. We have brakes, toe brakes, also a brake lever for parking, or even when you're landing, you can pull back on that lever and apply both brakes equally to slow down. Basic switches here for starting the engine, turning the lights on and off, throttle, fuel mixture, fuses. A lot of airplanes still have fuses. Airspeed indicator tells us how fast we're going. Usually it's marked out for your cruise speeds, speeds where you can safely extend the flaps below this white arc. A lot of people will put a piece of tape mark at the slowest controllable stall speed. An airplane has to be traveling so fast. If you don't have enough air going over the wing, it will stall. Not enough air to fly it. In which case you have to get that airspeed back up to continue flying. This is your artificial horizon. When you're flying, the wings are actually stationary. The ball in here will rotate as you go into a bank. It'll show that you turn left and right. As you pitch up and down, it'll show that you pitched up and down. It's your directional gyro. It's a stabilized compass. It tells you what heading you're on. Vertical speed indicator. It tells us how fast we're climbing or descending. Turn coordinator. As you go into a turn, that little airplane in that coordinator will tip the direction that you're turning, and you may need to use your rudder to keep this ball centered in the middle. If this ball starts slipping out to the outside, you're sliding in your turn, you're skidding, and that's what the rudder is used for when you're in the air. Altimeter tells us our altitude. Right now it's set for the elevation of the Waseca Airport at 1126. Navigational dials here that are connected to the Navcom radio. These are not used very much anymore. These you have to tune into radio beacons that are stationed on the ground throughout the country, and from there you can tell where you are from that beacon. That has been mostly taken over by GPS in most airplanes now. GPS is basically a moving map. Everybody knows what GPS is. This is set up for aviation, shows you where the nearest airports are. If you have a flight plan in there to a specific airport, it will show there, and you just follow that line to get to that airport. Com radio. Most small airports don't have a control tower to talk to, but you still need to talk on the radio so other people, other pilots, know where you are from the airport or know what your intentions are. You'll call out whether you're taking off, you're coming in for landing. Call out your tail number on your aircraft, which is right here, and what your intentions are as you approach or depart the airport. This is an autopilot that's not functioning in here. This is an NDB, a non-directional beacon. They almost are non-existent anymore. Engine RPM, fuel gauges, engine gauges, like a lot of cars would have. What do we have over here? Vacuum. Yeah, an airplane has a vacuum pump that controls that runs these gyros. And if you lose vacuum, these gyros will no longer work. So if you're in instrument conditions and you lose your vacuum and these things don't work, you can't see the ground. You have no reference to the ground. You're in a lot of trouble. And that's pretty much the basics of the inside of the aircraft. Fuel selector here. Airplanes have fuel in each wing on each side. In the mini airplanes, you can draw off both tanks simultaneously, or you have to switch back and forth, left to right. This airplane, you have to switch. Generally, when you're on a trip, you'll be switching tanks about every half hour. You'll fly for a half hour on one, half hour on the other one, then go back to the other one. Try to keep that weight balance even out. And next, we'll do a takeoff and landing and fly around the airport.